Did you see me just get the bend? That little. I hit the wrong note there. I must admit.
I saw in the chord.
But then I bend it up to the right place.
If you hadn't said that, no one would have known.
No, but I did anyway. I'm a guy that is I'm honest.
He's honest.
So that's why I'm wearing a hat, because my hair's.
Welcome to today's episode of Blue Planet, where we will be looking at walruses and mako sharks.
Oh, and an
elephant. What a mammoth!
It's a mammoth,
the four-tusked mammoth.
Yeah. And if that mammoth was here, Lee, I assure you that mammoth would tell you guys, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Do you know what? I think it's a mastodon. I don't even think it's a mammoth.
No, mastodon was a shark, isn't it?
No, mastodon was a big mammoth with four tusks, I think, as well as a great rock band. Anyway, right, 4 pedals.
Let's move quickly on.
Let's move quickly on, otherwise we'll be here all day. We'll probably be here all day anyway.
I've been here all day already.
Okay, so we've got some pedals from Walrus Audio.
Release Wodka!
We've got the sort of orangey yellowy one is an amp and cab simulator called the Mako series ACS1.
Yeah.
Then we've got the R1, which does A1, which is Reverb.
A1.
And then the D1, which is Delay. And then over here, ye oldie, relatively straightforward Ages Overdrive, which is not part of the Mako series.
We haven't looked at this Mako series before, have we? So
not really.
I remember
it's been too complicated. We ran away.
It's like, hey, do you want to do So, but basically the D1 came out a long time ago. I think we looked at that at NAMM, not last year, but the year before. We haven't looked at the Ages yet, so that's why we're putting that in there as well. The D1 and the ACS1 are both new.
Good.
So that's why we're looking at them. But we thought we were going to put the D1 in there.
Guess what, as well?
You like a D1,
what you heard in that intro, it was not these guitar amps, which you can see because we haven't even, there's nothing plugged in the front.
It's lit off, but
it was basically straight into our interface using the ACS1 as the amp simulator. I think we shall start there. So these pedals are, I guess, in line or, following in the vein of where Chase Bliss have been going or where some of the more recent Jackson Audio stuff's been going. These are MIDI pedals, meaning they are programmable, and they're kind of designed for, there's an element of storing 3 presets in the pedal, so you don't need any MIDI at all. You can just recall that by pressing on the buttons. Or if you do use them as part of a MIDI board, you use your 128 different presets if you want them. And that's the same for these 3 pedals here. So the only normal kind of on and offy one is the Ages over here.
On and offy.
So let's start with the ACS1 and go through some basic settings. So anything that you decide to adjust on here, you can store as a MIDI selectable preset if you want. But I'm just going to go through the basics. So at the moment, we're using the same amp model out of the left and right. You can, if you want, a different amp on one side and a different amp on the other.
Yeah, very, very cool.
As well. This switch here has 3 amp modes in it: Fullerton, London and Dartford, aka Fender, Marshall and Vox.
Yay!
The Marshall one is Blues Breaker era.
Okay.
The other 2, as you'd expect, one's an AC30 and one's like a deluxe vibe. Then we got 3 cabs here. Now, I'm reliably informed that there are actually 6 cabs, but the second 3 you have to hold a button down and do something to select them. So we'll just stick with those first.
They're quite complex. There's a lot of things in these pedals.
However, via USB, you can load in your own IRs if you so wish.
Yep.
On the ACS1.
Yep.
So
very,
let's go
very
through.
Cool.
Here we have, I've turned all the other, no, I'm not going to, yes I am. But where am I going?
Sir, we don't have a Roger, sir. What? We don't have anyone all that name, sir.
A little bit like the Strymon Iridium, it has a room reverb.
I shall release. What do it?
Added in. So actually, for this part of the demo, we're just going to hear this pedal in isolation. So even the reverb is coming from here. And it's not loads of reverb. It's just, as it says, it's a room. So let's start with the Fender through Cab A, which is a... it's a deluxe style 112.
So there you go.
There we are.
Simple.
And I'll fiddle around with the EQ and stuff.
I mean, is this... Can you talk about something like an Iridium killer?
We need to. We are going to. No, but you know, it's just another one of the products that.
Yes, but
didn't Iridium? No, Iridium does have MIDI, right? That's a great question. Did the Iridium have MIDI? M1D one? Have we got one? Look, I mean, there's all these comparisons.
There's USB on it, but it doesn't have MIDI, does it?
Didn't it do it via a micro? No, maybe not then.
I don't think it does. And I think
Yes, it does. It's got MIDI via the jack socket here, look.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
but we do need to shoot this out with the...
We've got lots of new... We got these kinds of pedals are becoming pretty popular, so we'll shoot these out. But there we go.
That's what I'm saying. That is the king of the hill, really.
It's certainly... I don't think... We've already done that, and I'm not sure it was necessarily our favourite one, but it's certainly the most popular.
Yeah,
anywho.
Moving on.
So that's the Fender. Let's just try it through some different cabs. Right, so the second cabinet is now, we're basically putting this through a 412, like a more martially 412.
Okay. Clean, just try it. Oh, sorry.
AC30 greenback style.
Bring back to the first one again, just... It sounds good. In the room, it sounds delightful.
Here's the Marshall-y one.
Not offensive. Are we talking the amp now?
Now we're talking about the amp.
Okay.
Blues breakery.
A bit of drive in there. Yeah. That's nice.
So actually I started that off on the Fender-y setting, so I've only just switched it. So that's the 412-y setting. That's the 212 greenback.
That sounds good.
I suspect if you were going to invest in this pedal, because it's not cheap, you probably would be, you probably live in the world of IRs.
Yeah,
and
you'd load your own IRs.
You'd load your own in. And here's the AC30, again staying on the AC speaker setting.
Turn the room down slightly on that, because it gets kind of it's almost like a pre-delay reflective kind of thing, isn't it? It sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Is it worth just mentioning this guitar? It's a GNL Espada custom. Shop one.
With single coil split pickups on it.
Yeah, so it does loads of stuff.
It's got a telly-ish kind of vibe to it.
And a humbuggery kind of thing as well. It does a little bit of everything.
Different speakers on that Voxy one.
Definitely got that. There's a lot of gain in there, isn't there?
Yeah, I've tonked the gain up.
Yeah. Would that be an interesting blindfold challenge to see which...
You mean as in, is it the real amp or is it?
No, not the real amp. I'm just saying about the rhythm. Take some of them and go through them and then go and go. Can you tell the difference between?
Definitely.
I don't need a haircut.
Okay, on the right. So just quickly, I'm not going to necessarily program anything on this, but just to show you how you go through the presets is you just basically you switch the two buttons together, and you can see you've got a red preset, a green one, and a blue one, and that's it. Just toggles through those three.
Yeah.
The purple light indicates that you've changed something within a preset. And then literally the last thing that you've got on here is a boost. This one's a little bit weirdy way round in that the boost light is always on, not flashing to show you which preset you're on.
Yeah.
And then the flashing light means you've engaged the boost. And again, you can pre-program. Whoa, I've got to get my false teeth looked at. You can pre-program how much volume and gain boost you want per preset.
Oh, there's a lot of
that
piece in there.
Is the ACS1.
Can we just do quickly with the boost? I just want to hear the boost.
Yeah. Well, we need to get you a sound first. Put it on, say, the Marshally sound, and I'll set up.
Go on the back pickup. There's a lot of good sounds in there.
I didn't program how much boost I wanted there, so that was just
you can do that as well.
You can program how much boost. That was just whatever the sort of the out the box.
And all of this you can do via MIDI, not MIDI. What am I talking about? MIDI.
I don't think you program it via MIDI. You program it using the unit, and then you save it. But you've got 128 memory locations if you get into the MIDI side of it. And it's ye olde fashioned normal MIDI DIN switches as opposed to
headphone plug on the side, stereo in, stereo out. Nice pedal-friendly format there. USB.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller than the
it's much
Iridium,
smaller, isn't it?
As you can see there.
Yeah.
Kind of has pretty much the same set of controls on it.
Good size. Good. It looks good. I like the look of them.
Yeah. So that's the. We're going to stay basically. I think I'm going to go back to like a clean.
Fender.
We use the Fullerton kind of. I'll take the reverb off of the. Off the actual ACS1 now, and we'll begin to look at the reverb coming from. I'll tell you what we didn't do.
What?
Is we didn't hear what.
Oh, a little bit. Let's do a little overdrive
So look,
there.
in fact, let's just before we move on to the reverb pedal, let's at least show you again. You can have the ACS1 at the end of your board, have normal drive pedals plugged into this. It'll work just fine, and you could conceivably give the sound man what you might even do is what we've done here. So I probably should explain what's going on here. So we've taken the left and right output from the ACS1 into a DI. The through controls we've actually got going into our normal guitar amps, but we've got going into the effects returns, and we might at the end, well I say we will, at the end of this video, we'll give you kind of an idea of what this sounds like driving a couple of normal speaker cabinets. And then of course we've got our two XLR outputs, and the little one of the sides is going into the P-split so that we can use this to remove any ground lift issues or phasing issues if we have them, but I don't think we do.
Any guitar player with stereo stuff.
Yeah, P-split, definitely worth a look. So here's a clean sound out of the ACS1, and then I'll just dump the...
Bit of reverb on there.
Okay, we'll keep the reverb. The deal with the Ages is it's got a dry control as well as a control for the distorted sound. So it's one of those pedals where you get these kind of blends of clean and dirty sounds. And then we've got 5 different kinds of gain. So I'll just toggle through those so you can hear them. So here's gain, the first mode. I was using that. I personally, I'm not a big fan of a heavy amount of the dry signal coming through a distortion pedal. So I kind of had the dry signal at about 9 o'clock, whereas the distorted signal was at about 1 or 2 o'clock.
I like
but
that.
hey.
I like that. Hey, each to their own, man. Move on.
That's the ages.
Let's move on.
Here we go. So now we're moving on. I
video.
think I can lose this manual, as I'm pretty sure we've told you everything about the ACS1. Other than the price, do we know how much this is, Pete?
It is £365.
Okay,
pounds.
so not cheap.
Not cheap at all.
Definitely. I mean, it's actually, I say that,
Similar price.
perhaps a little bit cheaper than Iridium. I think that's $3.99.
I think that's $3.99.
But yeah, I guess it is what it is. It's
Sounds
got
good.
tons and tons of features, and therefore it is what it is.
Yeah.
R1 is now the same basic idea. So all the MIDI programmability, but now with reverbs.
Is that R1D1? R2D?
M1D1. Now again, we've got lots of different types of reverbs in here. Springs, halls, plates, BFRs, which is my favourite one because that's
best
big.
friend.
That's big something reverb.
Big friendly.
Refracts and air are the modes, and then we've got various switches and controls to do different things. So let's just dive on in.
Is it big?
And see what it.
Yes. Is it? Is
that's
that what
that's
it says?
What it says in the manual.
Yes. Legends. Legends. I love them guys. I love those guys. Brilliant.
Again, if you want the full 128 different recallable memory selection from here, you're going to have to be a MIDI person. But if you want to get 9, you can do so by having, as we had before. So we've got 3 colours, red, green and blue. And then we've got this A, B and C switch. So you actually get 3 lots per, 3 in A, 3 in B and 3 in C. So you can do 9 without having to be a MIDI person, but you still got to kind of bend down.
So you have to bend down and...
3 from your feet, 9 from your fingers, 128 via MIDI. That's what the manual needed to say. Yeah. So I've switched the reverb off the ACS1 now.
Yeah.
So all the reverb you're hearing is just from the R1. And we're going to start with the spring reverb. And then I'll talk a little bit about some of the other controls.
Well, let's do the spring test, the boinginess. Not so springy.
It's got a big bloom.
How did you get rid of that, Lee?
I just noticed, right, so you got on the left-hand side, you got a tweak control, and on the right-hand side, you got a tune control.
Yeah.
And then what you have to do in conjunction with the tweak control is select whether you want to tweak rate, depth, or pre-delay.
And it'll save that in it, right?
Yeah. And then on the tune side, you can adjust the low, the high, and the stereo spread. And that initial sound that we had where it went like that.
How did it go?
Because
Can't believe it not
there
proper.
was quite a bit of pre-delay in there, so you've got this little gap before the reverb comes in. I've turned the pre-delay off, so now the reverb feels like it comes in more.
Careful with that pre-delay, Lee.
Absolutely.
That can get people in trouble.
Yeah. So that's the spring reverb. Let's go hall reverb.
I don't think it was as springy as I would have.
It's not.
Have
It didn't
liked
have the clang.
Sorry.
It didn't have the clang.
You didn't hear what Lee said there because I was playing. But
No,
it was
you
fun.
should.
It was fun. Yeah, that's nice.
Huge.
Yeah. You know what I'm really enjoying? Sorry, Mick Taylor again for speaking over the reverb trails. I know he's gonna be like that at the screen. Be quiet. So, anyways, I really enjoy playing that ACS1.
It's quite easy to forget that we're just hearing it through studio monitors, isn't it? It's quite a realistic...
It's a realistic amp tone, I must admit. You know, they're getting...
Which is the point. If you just spent £400 on this, you'd hope it would be. But
yeah, you spent 400 quid on an amp, couldn't you?
It is nice.
Funny.
It is absolutely nice not to be going, I can't wait till we get to the end of this demo so we can plug back into these.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound DI at all. You know, I mean, back in the day, it was really... I think David Gilmour recorded a lot of his stuff straight in DI. Some of the solos and the stuff that you...
But that was with no amp simulation. Right?
Yes, but what I'm saying is, it was which sounds like this.
Would sound like this. Which is still really good.
Which is still really good. We are plugged into the Apollo 8P, X8P, APX, X8P.
I do think I am regularly playing particularly single coil guitars straight into the Apollo. That's actually not a bad clean
That was
tone.
a funky tone. There was like 9 watts and stuff. But this guitar's also got a bit of... It's got a battery compartment in here, and it's got a bass and a so we like. And a little. There's some. This is good.
Back in the room. So this was that was the Hall reverb. There is this kind of cool swell function, which is a little bit. Maybe it's a bit more shoegazery, but you've got this concept of
but they like that.
Here you go.
Walrus.
I wonder if we were using this through the effects loop rather than straight through, whether or not that would be more subtle because you'd have the dry tone and then you'd get the reverb swell behind it.
But check this out. So if I go... But if I hold my hand on here and wait, and then play. So it obviously... That feature, it's hearing that and swelling that in.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Let's go BFR and just see what it's like.
Can you just type in the comment section what you think that stands for?
I think what the F stands for in BFR. Fidelity. Okay, so I don't know what order these videos are going to come out in, but the video we did before this was on the Universal Audio new effects pedals.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a traditional guitar player that likes traditional reverbs, you're going to lean towards more the UA stuff.
Yeah.
And this feels like if you're the guitar player that wants more experimental reverbs and the ability to sort of, because of those...
There's much more in these pedals. These pedals can do many more things with the MIDI and the different switching stuff, where the Universal Audio stuff is much simpler. I mean, it's literally... It's like,
here's a great spring reverb, here's a great hall reverb, here's a great plate reverb. That's it.
Yeah.
Whereas this, anyway, like, I don't know, there's something in the top end on this that's making me feel it's more ambient and unnatural. It's like almost like more of an effect.
Do you remember I said that in the video? I said something about digitally, where a lot of the... It's not raw. It's not a bad thing saying the digitally thing. It's just a different when you hear it. It's just a different thing than an analog reverb, spring reverb from a guitar amp. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay,
I feel comparisons coming on.
This is the refracted reverb, whatever that is. The other thing, of course, that the UA didn't have, which this has, is a latched sustain doodah thing here. So if you want to have it, I mean, again, perhaps like if Pete plays a big chord and
out of the box, it probably has, when you turn the effects off, it probably has, if you turn the pedal off, it's probably got trails.
Nope.
Oh, all right.
Don't know. That's a good question. Oh, I knew you'd pass.
Why did I say that?
I've no idea if that can be switched into some sort of buffered bypass mode. So, Walrus, if you're watching, please comment below and we'll pin your comment to the top. But can you get trails on these pedals? I don't know.
It must be.
Let's try the sustaining thing.
Yes, let's do the sustaining thing. So I'll do a big chord. I'm sure it can.
A bit like the ACS1, it's a bit confusing because the light, the secondary light is like on for when it's off and flashing for when it's on, if that makes sense. That particular mode side of it. So yeah,
what flashes when it's the cameras are recording now? They're flashing, and we know they're recording.
So there we are. Maybe they've learned it
So
from
maybe
camera
it's
who knows? Anyway, one last reverb mode to go here is air.
It's got this swoosh.
Yeah, it's like a whooshy noise, isn't it?
That's absolutely the air flowing through the air, man. That's nice. I like that.
Okay,
I like
that's
that.
the R1.
Yeah.
Again, your USB on the side here, and you've
Firmware
plugged in
updates.
Is that just firmware updates? Or
Yeah, as far as I can see now,
libraries and loading other stuff.
They've got Walrus. You go to what was it called now? Walrus Audio.io or something like that. There's a website where you go to and you hook up your R1 or the ACS1, and you can, if you have a Mac, you have to use the Chrome browser, and it just pops up there, and you can register them on there, and then you can update the firmware. The ACS1, you can change all your
Can I, Walrus?
iOS.
No need to pin that comment. I just needed to have read the final page of the manual. 100%, depending on holding a button down and powering the pedal up. In doing certain things, we'll choose whether you have true bypass or the DSP bypass mode, which means you will get trails if it's in a different setting. I apologise.
Well, hey,
what I was looking for though, I can see via MIDI, we can also control all of the parameters in real time. So again, loads of crazy kind of options.
So you have like a Morningstar, one of those Morningstar MIDI things. You'll be able to control everything via that. That's a clever piece of.
And I was just trying to see if there was anything on the USB socket to suggest that it did anything.
I don't think it does. I think that's for updates.
I think you might be right, Mr. Pete.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. It's a good looking pedal as well.
Right, lastly, D1. So no USB now, but still MIDI. The two buttons now are bypass, tap. But again, we've still got this concept of, if you want, you've got your... how many different ones? 3 different modes, and again your ABC, so 9 different modes, 9 different presets, sorry, in total if you want. So let's start with, we've got 5 different kinds of delay: digital, modulated, vintage, dual, and reversed. And again, a little bit like the R1, the left-hand tweak control here, I have to select using this switch what I want to tweak.
So you have to bend down.
Yeah, modulation, tone, or age. I'm just going to go to age and reduce it. Oh, it's much better, thank you.
Now I'm only 36.
Yeah, time, repeats, mix over here, attack, and then again your note divisions over here.
Jesus.
So
it's the end of the day, isn't it?
I know. Okay, so let's just get into it and start now with the digital delay. Here we go. Okay, the next mode is its modulated mode.
Oh, so I like modulated
well, we know
delay.
what that sounds. It's definitely a different kind of delay. There's some
but
sort of, I don't know, almost like a reversey effect. Is that the attack?
There must be something
right up.
Oh, you turn it all the way down. Go.
That's better.
Yeah, it's
so
too much attack.
There's like I don't know, the attack was, normally I'm thinking attack, it's like how fast is the delay note hitting, but it's almost like the more you turn it up, the more it stops and it lets the notes swell in. Okay, so that's the modulated mode. Let's go into vintage mode now.
There you go. You got that that nasally kind of.
You've got, again, one of the tweak settings is to age the delays. So again, more like a a worn out tape head.
Try that. Try to put it all on, age it all the way, man. 100 years old. See, there you go. Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
And again, we might want.
This is what Lee would call like pop music. I like that. That's a good sound. That's a really good delay sound.
Dual. No idea what this is going to do, but we'll see in a minute. Let's just turn it up a bit more.
Squat cuckoo, squat cuckoo, squat cuckoo.
Is that the squat cuckoo mode?
Squat cuckoo, squat cuckoo.
If you're listening in mono, that meant nothing to you.
No.
And then reverse. Here we go.
That's my favorite position. It's not as reverse as I like it.
I didn't think it was reverse, unless it stands for reverb. But I think it's.
I like it much more reverse than that. Oh, hang on. It's the reverse and the repeats. It's reversed on the repeats. I like a reverse and the repeat. Squack, squack, taka.
Let's modulate that as well. And age it. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Pete. Somewhere in there.
So you're running it straight in now. You're running it
somewhere in there sounded a bit like that Queen solo from a song that I can't remember, but where all the delays are in reversed. Anyway,
yeah, great pedals, man.
Look, that was a bit of fun. We're just going to end this by switching this off.
Oh yeah.
Switching these on.
So the R1 is 319 and 279, I believe was the So
do you know what?
365, 319, 279.
And the ages, or don't
oh, gosh.
What I will say is that if they ever do a version 2 of this pedal and a version 2 of this pedal, and you do the two together, it's instant Star Wars.
I tell you what,
board.
maybe they are doing that.
I hope so. Okay, so just to play you out and just for a bit of fun now, we've switched off the ACS1. We're still running through the ACS1, but we're just not using it, into the front end of a couple of amplifiers. So this final bit is just really going to be about a little bit of reverb from the R1. I say a little bit, quite a lot.
Yeah, we'll have a lot.
Some stereo delay from the D1, and why not, we'll have a bit of distortion.
Yeah, take that down on setting 3 there, please, that one there, and then blend in a little bit of the...
but this is just a more, what would these pedals sound like if you just plug them straight into the front of an amp type demo. So that's it. Links below for anybody that wants to find out more, maybe even buy one, who knows?
Dislike and subscribe.
Dislike and unsubscribe. Yeah, absolutely. No, please like and subscribe. If a walrus was in the room right now, it would say... Anyway, is that a seal? I don't know. Right, no, come on then.
Yeah, let's play. Okay, so here we go.